Hey guys, it's Ryan from AMS. We had a chance to sit down today with our friends Colt from Walrus Audio, Jamie from EarthQuaker Devices, and of course Robert Keeley from Keeley Effects. We had a chance to talk about a number of things. First and foremost, why it's so difficult these days to be a pedal builder in America, among other topics. We hope you enjoy it. Do you want to start with that?
I like this one. This is like the Bob Ross question, maybe. Has there ever been a happy accident when designing a pedal that surprisingly wound up enhancing the particular model that you kept in the final release? That's kind of the story of our Halo pedal, is that there was this, to get real technical just for a second,
Here we
were
go.
addressing.
We're starting
This is the
early.
happy
Just
accident.
right away.
Yeah, right away. Right off the
Good
bat.
morning.
But we were addressing the memory wrong, and we were cutting off a certain amount of bits. It was only the top of it, and it was creating a kind of interesting distortion that Andy Timmons really liked. When we found our error, because it was exhibiting itself in other ways, in other areas too, we couldn't figure out what was going on. When we finally figured it out, we corrected it and put the sample in front of Andy, and he was like, "That sounds kind of sterile. Kind of sounds like a pedal. What happened?"
Yeah.
And so we put the distortion
Characteristic.
and not only did we just cut off, we didn't just like cut off the bits mathematically. We actually still address it wrong in that one case, so that it creates the same kind of random fuzzy distortion that he liked. So that's a really good happy accident. We never even told him. I didn't even tell him about this until much later after the fact, like maybe a year or two after the fact. I was like, maybe even more recent than that, that I told him, no, we actually left that mistake in there because you didn't like it. You didn't like it when we fixed it.
Which seals Robert as the smartest one.
Just taking advantage of a happy accident. That was my one cool story. So I'm already done for the day.
That's it. You're done.
Accidents. Do you have a happy accident?
Sure, he's got it.
Like half our line is the result of happy accidents. The Rainbow Machine is just one big happy accident.
Yeah.
I think Afterneath is another like good one. Those are like two examples of successful mistakes, I think.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Rainbow Machine. I love that pedal.
The Rainbow Machine was it's FV1 based.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just start talking about that. That's like my favorite thing to talk about, FV1s. But it was like brand new at the time. Like no one was really using. I think it was in that Electro Harmonics pedal. So we had all these samples, and I was just put it on the breadboard and just plugging around to see what you could do with it. That's how I figured out like the adjustable clock thing that is now like the secret trick to every FV1 based pedal.
Yeah.
But then like what happens like when you just plug it back into itself and do all these like weird feedback paths, and that was pretty much it. Just like trying to figure out how the FV1 worked.
That's one of
created
those
the Rainbow
pedals
machines.
too, where it's, we all talk about pedal order, like where do you put a chorus before a distortion? Where do you put the Rainbow Machine?
I put it like immediately after like any kind of dirt pedals and then into everything else. But I treat it like a more like a chorus or a slapback delay than like a pitch shifter. But if you want it to be a relatively mediocre pitch shifter, that's a perfect place for it. It was right there. But
That's wise. I don't think when I think happy accidents, I think of like when you're designing pedals, you kind of have a hunch like, oh, this one's gonna pay the bills, or this one, no one's gonna buy this one, but we have to put it out because we love it so much. And I think for us, the Julia chorus, when it came out, it was this one, no one's going to buy this because no one's into chorus right now. But we really were, because we were really into what Anthony Gonzalez was doing with M83, and it was really influential. And chorus hadn't fully come back yet, and we wanted to be part of that. And we'll do the Julia, and we'll come out with it, and then we'll try to hurry up and come out with something else so that we can pay salaries and things like that. But it ended up going pretty good, and paying some of the bills, and so I think that was a happy accident for us.
Yeah, but it also was a great pedal, and that's the funny thing, you know.
Right.
It's almost like songwriting. You hear about artists, they this is a toss. Oh, I didn't even think about it, and that those almost often end up being the hits, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it wasn't too much overthinking, you know.
I do like that idea of the like, we'll just put this out and then we'll hurry up and put out something that people really want.
Yeah. This one's for my hubris, and then the other one's for
I feel like I do
for
that
the staff.
at least once a year where I'm like, I just want this to come out, but no one's going to want this thing.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
We call them lab pedals.
Lab
Like
pedals.
this one's the lab pedal that no one's going to be into.
All
Like
right,
a
well, who gets to pick?
$600. What's
Oh,
up?
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say like a $600 analog delay. You know, we have one of those.
I love that pedal.
Well, yeah. But, you know, we don't sell a lot of them.
I wear it around my neck
$600.
sometimes. I just walk around with a Meraki on. Is it Meraki?
It's Maracai.
Maracai? I've been calling it Meraki. That's the problem.
That's like,
okay.
like double
Probably
down
is.
on that, like $600 delay pedal and then call it something that
That nobody
people
can pronounce.
Yeah, people don't know how to pronounce. It's good. It's good work.
Thanks, man.
That's what stage I'm at. The pedals I'm naming now have unpronounceable names, like our wash-off phaser is what I call it. But I can't wait to see what other people call it.
We're all out of trademarks. That's the problem. Is everything's been trademarked at this point. You know, first thing we do is just go to Reverb and start typing in names. You know, and like, was that a pedal already? Or
it's an antacid.
Yes.
Yeah, which is good. It's fine if it's an antacid. You know, you can have a little bit of overlap.
Yeah, that's
with the USPTO.
acceptable.
Does the world need another tube screamer?
Oh. You're all looking at you.
Why are you looking at me? Because I was the last person on earth to be like, yeah, we need another tube screamer. I feel like I answer this question like almost every single day to people.
I would say always. The world always needs fresh skin on old sounds and classic, like the classic sounds that make what we do possible, like the great sounds of rock and roll. And Tube Screamer is one of the most iconic sounds of all time. But without new skin, it doesn't get new eyes. And so I feel like when people iterate on the Tube Screamer or something else like a Blues Breaker, it gives it gives a fresh face to something old, which we all need, you know? So I'm all about it. Like when people come out with new Tube Screamers, there's a lot of hate, but I'm always grateful. I'm like, awesome, let's go, bring it. You know,
I feel like it was a very good diplomatic answer for that. But I mean, I also agree. One of our best-selling pedals is a Tube Screamer-based pedal, the Plumes. It's our best-selling pedal, and I think it's like the pedal that people know our company for now. Mm-hmm. And it came out after there was already like 100,000 Tube Screamers, and I do think it sounds different. I also think like everybody else's take on a Tube Screamer, it sounds different. Like every designer like imparts something of their taste into the design. So there's plenty of room for it. I think the internet, like the black hole faceless internet, is the only place that's like, another Tube Screamer, another fuzz pedal, because I don't know about you guys, whenever we try to make something like interesting or unique or experimental, there's like a finite amount of people that will actually buy that, you know, like 1,500, 2,000 people tops. Mm-hmm. And then if it only does that one interesting thing, it just sort of dies. But dirt pedals seem to do really well consistently. So like people are buying more of that and then like immediately turning around and going on the internet being like, no one's doing anything interesting anymore. It's all Tube Screamers. I'll take 10.
I'll take 10. And the haters out there, what if we found out, and I like to think that there's only 6 of them. But they just
but they're just like
they have logins to every website and every forum, and so there's only 6 guys that are really hating everything, and they just have 20 different screen names. Is it screen names? Is that what we're still doing?
I think the screen names.
Screen names.
Yeah.
Usernames.
I feel bad because I have yet another Tube Screamer variation on the runway ready
Don't
to
feel
take
bad. Do not feel bad.
The last Tube Screamer I did was a dead-on 100%, not even a mod to it, in our Noble Screamer. That's the one that takes the Noble's ODR and a stock Tube Screamer and kind of separates them in the middle. So the last Tube
and it
Screamer,
doesn't sound like any other
I know.
Tube Screamers.
It is fun when you put the different tone control on a Tube Screamer. It totally changes it, or a different drive section. So it's a great platform. I think you guys probably feel the same way. It's very simple, logically laid out, so you can impart your own, thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can cut out certain parts, you can short out certain parts, and it does great things. It's very logical how it flows, so it's very forgiving too.
And it's such a sensory experience too, because it's, like Jamie said, like they all sound different. And do they? We'll never know. But when you look at it, like what is this right here? Like when you look at it, you're playing it and you begin to like feel how the pedal looks, and it kind of changes the way that you're playing guitar, and it helps you innovate like new parts with the way that the pedal feels and the knobs feel. And it's such like the way your eyes are taking it in and your hands are messing with how hard or easy the pots move around. It's such a sensory experience. So
That's a good point.
more Tube Screamers. I'm all about it.
I'm with
we
you.
should all come out with one a year.
No,
Okay,
but
maybe
you
not.
pick, you pick one
At
up, and
least.
that's the first thing you notice. How does it feel in your hands and things like? I mean, it is an instrument unto itself. And then, of course, there are those people that would never have an Ibanez Tube Screamer on their board, but they definitely have a Plumes on their board. And you're saying, but it's a variant on a Tube Screamer. But there's also this kind of fanboy aspect of these are the brands I like, and I would never be caught with a Boss pedal or whatever, the dad pedals that we have that we all know and love.
The new rules are for pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it makes you wonder, like if Jamie said, okay, I'm just going to take a DS1 out of the box and put an EarthQuaker chassis on it and sell it and see if people even notice or they think it sounds different because...
This is actually an idea that I had a long time ago. Is that because DS1s, you could find them all over the place for like $20 or less just to get one and get one of those giant Hammond enclosures and just glue it in the bottom of it, but then goop the whole thing with nacho cheese. So when people open up the enclosure, it just dumps cheese out on them. And then they're like, fuck, it's a DS1. Just a whole DS1 is in there.
That's actually good cost of goods. $20 sounds pretty great for
it does.
cost of goods for a pedal.
Yeah.
We used them as loss leaders in sales on Saturday morning at a certain retailer that I used to work at, and we would give away DS1s, even if you came in and bought nothing.
Yeah. I own 3 DS1s. I don't like them at all. Like, I don't know why I have 3
You're
of
supposed
them.
to hook them all together.
Is that what it is?
And then add a
That's
metal
what I'm missing. Is I need 2 more, and then it sounds good. It's
They're
finally
doing it
triple-
wrong.
the boss
triple
puzzle.
rack. And then cheese, of course.
Yeah, and cheese.
obviously.
Yeah.
The cheese is the most important part.
What does your current pedal board look like right now? Any particular signal chain you tend to follow?
Well, Walrus stuff is free, and so I tend to use quite a bit of that. We started doing blacked out versions, call them minimalist versions, because I would look down at my pedal board and it was like all Walrus stuff, and it looked like a daggum comic book, and it was so annoying. It was so bright to look at. So that's why we started doing the black ones, so I could have some evenness. But I'm trying to think. No, I think staples on my board are always chorus and tremolo. I think those are the most exciting things to be able to change sound, especially when we're so obsessed with delay and reverb these days, which are great. I love them, but it challenges me to try to make new parts with different sounds. So chorus, tremolo. It's a lot of Walrus stuff. And then I'm really into the Digitech drop.
Incredible pedal.
Yeah. So like if you're playing a song in A, I can just turn it on and I can drop it down and play like in B form. Or if you're playing a song in G, or if you're playing a song like in E, you can drop it down like 3 half steps and play in G form, or just to give some depth and some more like excitement. I call it girth, but that's a hard word to say on camera. But I love that pedal. Big fan.
Yeah. That is a cool one.
What do you got, Rob?
Mostly Keeley stuff because it's free.
Yeah.
Right now it's mostly purple.
Do you work there?
I do.
How long have you worked at Keeley?
No, I actually, the work part, I am there.
Are you on PTO today?
Always on PTO.
My man.
Always on PTO. Nope. It's mostly Keeley stuff. And I have to have the obligatory compressor on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to have a compressor on there.
I've heard
to
of
show
it.
That it's still valid. It can be used to do things. So
That's such a. Are you in sales? This can be used to.
This is valid.
things. Do
This is a
things.
valid idea.
We used to do things. You should be a realtor.
Yeah.
This house is good. You could, I don't know, live in it. Some bedrooms you can sleep in. All right, keep going. Sorry.
no, man. No, I have the our rotary pedal on my pedal
yeah.
board right now.
Solid.
Now, that one, I don't know if it's gone out to all dealers yet, but it's in our custom shop, and I've had a tremendous amount of fun with that one and our latest reverb pedal, our Zoma pedal. So I don't usually have a pedal board. It's usually things are changing out. People are bringing me prototypes. You know, the engineers and programmers, they're bringing me stuff to listen to, evaluate, tear apart. So I don't ever get to sit around and play guitar with a fixed pedal board.
Yeah.
Except when I'm trying to sell my compressor or something like that.
Yeah. One of my favorite things on the board is there's this company out of it's like Mesa, Arizona, called Telonics, and they make like hunting GPS equipment. But the owner is a pedal steel player, and so he has this like $500 billet steel volume pedal that he's designed with like 7 different tapers, and it's stereo in, stereo out. And he loses $100 on every one that he makes. When I was like, dude, like you are also bad at sales. That's crazy. But that's one of my favorite volume pedals because like interacting with the way something is made. I mean, it feels like you're interacting with like a piece of military equipment. It's so fun on the foot. It's so fun on the foot. That's the other thing.
What's
I really
the foot
like.
feel of this?
Yeah,
pedal?
it's the foot feel, the foot profile. What's on your board?
My board is just a bunch of loose aluminum enclosures on the floor, just in a pile. I don't actually have a pedal board right now. For the same reason. Who has time to sit down and play guitar? I have gotten so bad at playing guitar and traveling around doing clinics, and like the stuff that just comes out of my hand is the worst. It's like I would never listen to it in a million years. And I'm like, guess I'm doing this in front of people now. How do I get out of it? So I'd need to put together a pedal board, I think, and actually play the guitar. But
That's brilliant.
It's like
we don't get the time to play guitar anymore.
No.
Because we're trying to develop sounds.
To make sense.
Yeah,
and like when I do
and
play
then
guitar,
you
it's
find
like
yourself
low
playing and
E
demoing
just
stuff that I would
noodling
never
around.
listen to.
Yeah, I mean it's
that's awesome.
Oddly identical. It's all Walrus. It's all EarthQuaker pedals and Korg pitch black tuner and Digitech drop is like on every board that I made for like the last, I don't know, however long the Digitech drop's been out, so I don't sound like a liar. Last 3 years.
Yeah.
But it has been. I love that pedal. It's like, it's the only modern pedal that I own multiples of, because I was using one on a guitar board, a bass board, and then I wanted one at my house, and then I wanted one in the office.
Yeah.
It's like now I've got this collection of drops.
I have a few because I'm nervous they'll go out of production and then I won't have any, So I have like some backups in case mine breaks. But
And hoard them all.
I guess I could just email customer service. Do they have customer service at Digitech?
I don't know. Who knows?
I can't speak to that. But there is something to the fact that someone might buy a pedal and go, oh, this doesn't sound as great as I thought it would. And the magic could be that, it's not in the signal chain where you need it to be. Sometimes putting a pedal in, literally moving it over one spot into something else, and you go, there it is. And again, it could be a happy accident, or it could be, there's this theory that the pedals must go in a certain order. Do you ascribe to that, or you just say, put them where you want and see what happens?
I definitely do. Like, there's like a very specific chain that I follow. It's like overdrive, fuzz pedals, and then like anything octave based, then it's like frequency modulation, amplitude modulation, delay and reverb. It's like how every signal chain goes. And if it doesn't work in that way, then I think the pedal sucks. I never move it. I never move it around. There's like a handful of people who like delay before like any kind of dirt. And that's
a very weird sound.
Wild to me. Like it sounds so bad to me.
Very scratchy,
anyway,
very weird.
But that's like the most controversial thing that I feel like I hear, and I'm like, nah, you can't do that. Everything else is like fair game. I feel like, whatever people like, that's one where I'm like, it's probably going to sound bad most of the time.
I'm pretty traditional,
Yeah.
like that. I don't branch out a lot about signal chain, things like that. I do like a few rules like that you just choose not to break, and I feel like when there's a few rules that you choose not to break, it like limitations always bring out creativity, and so like limitless options, I feel like stifles creativity a lot of the time, and so. Yeah, and I feel like the less pedals I have access to, the better parts and the better things come out, when you're playing with a band or playing with people.
We're supposed to admit that.
So, I was supposed to say, what I mean, edit in more. The more pedals, the more.
You got to have like the less on the board, but the more that you're not using, the better.
It's true,
But
it's always true.
That's pretty deep.
Less is more.
Next from Walrus, a pedal that sounds like a guitar into an amp. Can you hear that?
Can you hear
The
that?
we should start cloning spice boxes.
Yes.
If you remember those.
Spice boxes.
Just I actually found one. Do you know what the spice box is?
No, I'm thinking of Dune now.
There was this is a Japanese company, and it was like a way to warm up your tone, make it sound vintage. But then you open it up, and it's 2 pieces of cloth covered wire just running from jack to jack in there. I had seen one like on the internet, like it would just get passed around like the gear page or whatever, like 15, 20 years ago. I just thought it was a joke. And then I found one in a store in Japan the last time we were there. And I couldn't believe that it was real. And the dude I was with bought it. And I was like, I was kind of hemming and hawing, like, I don't really need this, but it is funny. And then he bought it. So it's a real thing. Spice box.
Does it work?
Yeah, did it do anything?
Of course.
Warm up your tone?
Of course. It's like, yeah.
It does.
Why wouldn't half an inch of vintage cloth covered wire running from jack to jack, especially in that ground path? That's where the real secret.
That's where the eddy current lies.
Yeah.
Gosh. Oh, there's so much nerdery going on. This is good.
I'm always conflicted with effect pedal order. I mean, I'm both conventional, like he was saying. I like a certain order for almost everything. But on some of my pedals, though, I like the idea of allowing you to play with that. Like on our Octasci pedal, you can switch the order of the fuzz and the octave. So you can put the octave before or after the fuzz. That makes for 2 different sounds that are pretty acceptable. And the other interesting one is on this reverb pedal. I have a reverb and tremolo pedal called the Zoma, and you can do instant order switching on that. And that can do some really cool stuff.
I do always think that that's pretty, like reverb before tremolo or after. It's like 2 wildly different sounds.
It is. And so like if you get it's a stereo pedal. And if you get the rate really slow as it's going back and forth on a tremolo thing, you can make the room sound like it's like collapsing, or then all of a sudden it expands into a big room. And, depending on if the tremolo is after the reverb, then it's clamping down on the amount of reverb, but it's swaying back and forth in the speakers. It does really cool stuff. You can do that with like the harmonic tremolo as well. So you get a little phasery sound. So
Yeah, I feel like that's where magic happens, is when you're picking 2 different effects to swap order of. Specifically, the reverb and tremolo is really popular, and then like the distortion into reverb, or the reverb then into the distortion, gets 2 different sounds. I think that's where signal chain, experimentation can be exciting.
Yep, our loomer pedal.
But if you're just like taking all 9 pedals and doing this, then you probably need a girlfriend.
Willy-nilly.
Need to join a band or something.
Okay, the economic climate is affecting business, small and large. As a U.S.-based pedal maker, what is the biggest challenge to thrive, let alone keep the lights on? The biggest challenge to thrive.
Such a complicated question.
Yes.
Sorry.
What is the biggest challenge to thrive? Yes. Cutting benefits.
I'm just kidding.
Lengthening the workday.
Just kidding, guys.
No, it's the biggest challenge to thrive, I think, is kind of finding a steady, constant lane and maybe a customer stream that is supportive of your endeavors and tries to give you, I think the hardest thing for thriving is just maintaining a steady income source, cash flow.
Yes.
So I the only time I'm stressed out at my business is probably during the end of summer. You know what I mean? When things get deathly
Right
slow.
now.
And it's like then you find yourself in New Jersey. Doing anything
Yeah,
to
Nothing
make
to
a buck.
ship. Might as well go to AMS.
I jest, but no, that's
the secrets
that's the
are
hardest.
all in Wayne, New Jersey.
Yes,
We're,
I love it here. Actually, it's very
That's very
beautiful.
sweet
It's
of you.
20 degrees cooler than our wonderful
It was
Oklahoma.
refreshing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's no wind here. That's another nice
Talked to
thing.
the
We
lady
have
at the hotel
constant
today.
tornadoes where we are.
we're already on the weather.
Yes.
We've run out of stuff
funny.
to talk about.
It's a dry heat, though.
The funny thing is, for me, like this morning, I just came to work, and it's the end of summer because I opened the door, and the three of you were just standing there, like waiting for something to do, which is nice. It was random. I didn't even have to contact you. It was just,
It's
can we come
weird.
in?
Yeah.
What is the question again? Read it.
What's the
You know the
hardest
question.
challenge to thrive? No, I think if you can get all three of us in a place where we're calm and relaxed, then we can focus on all these effect ideas that are rummaging through our heads or the people are giving to us, that we have to massage into something practical.
Yeah.
And so that's actually the hardest thing is just to find some kind of consistency so that when something like the tariffs come up, that is counter to us being in a nice,
productive
peaceful place where we can focus on, making beautiful looking and sounding things and providing some real tools to customers instead of just a tube screamer variation, So, yeah, I like it when I think the most negative part of the tariffs is just the confusion part of it. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's definitely costly, and there's no way around it. You can't raise prices on everything, just to offset that. It just doesn't work that simply. So it just causes a lot of stress and uncertainty. And as long as things stay at one point or fall or go lower, I think I'll manage to work it out. Fortunately, our customers have been really supportive of us, so that makes paying the tariff bills a lot easier. So. But that's really the main thing is just kind of developing, like he was saying with his chorus pedal, and I was talking with my compressor pedal. It's so rewarding to have part of your product line that gives you a revenue stream, and then you can focus on things like the Octosi and crazy weird pedals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your lab pedals.
The lab stuff.
So
Yeah, I think costs are up significantly just in the last 3 or 4 years. I loved our cost of goods before COVID, and even in a little bit of COVID. But like the global climate has just made things more expensive, and it's made it tougher in general. Just a little bit less gross margin and things too. Less flexibility a lot of the time. And then, I think the tariffs have been, I would say, like very annoying. We get stuff landed and DHL is like, it's this much. And then we're looking at Reuters and we're like, no, today it's this much. And they're like, well, my computer says this. And is like, well, can you email your manager? And then, they call the manager.
Well, they eventually ghost
They're like,
you.
well,
DHL's
they're not,
ghosting
they're
you.
not sure,
Yeah.
and so nobody's sure. And
That's like the most comforting answer
Yeah.
with all this. Like when the people who should know exactly what it is are like, I think it's this.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I emailed I wrote a letter to our senators being like, hey, we're in your state. We are a U.S. manufacturer with jobs in your state here, and we're buying parts that aren't made in the United States. We have to, and can we get some sort of break? And we didn't get anything back.
Yeah.
So I got a political email back like, well, I understand things are hard and all that kind of stuff. And then, Mark Wayne didn't email me back. So
ghosted you too. Huh?
yeah, he ghosted me.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about you? Julie.
Yeah, Julie.
Julie has
Julie
been
is a
very
champion.
involved. She's gone to DC. Julie has been the
Been on
mouthpiece
CNN,
for the
been
pedal
on like
industry.
a bunch of like BBC.
Yeah.
And Julie is my wife and the co-owner of EarthQuaker Devices, and she has been very proactive about battling tariffs for the industry, not just us.
Yeah.
Because we're all affected, and like this is an industry that is like everything is highly price sensitive. I feel like, there's like so many like weird points of view where like people are like, oh, they're definitely gouging people already with these prices. We are not. I think that we are all like, it's like the finest profit margin in the world of pedals, if you could even call it a profit. So it's like everything is very price sensitive. Like you were mentioning, like the inflation, like the cost of goods has gone up so high for everybody, rent, like everything, but people's wages aren't going up. And that's just how it is. Yeah. Like people, these are luxury items that we're making. So like the slightest amount of price increase could mean the death of our businesses, and these tariffs, the chaos that they create, the uncertainty, you cannot plan for your year or for the next year or like the future of your business in this current like economic climate where it's like one day you wake up and all of a sudden there's a tweet that like semiconductors are 100% tariffs now. And it's like, what? Do you know what a semiconductor is? Like, first of all, and like, you're like, who is enforcing this shit? But then it gets reported everywhere. And you're like, is that true or is it not true? And then the next day it's like, semiconductors are not. Then semiconductors are 3. It's like, stop it. What is happening? So it's the chaos that is currently happening. Tomorrow, everything's going to be different, in a good way or a bad way. Will it stick? Will we know? Will it just get pushed off to the future so we can wait more? So this is the kind of stuff that we're facing, and every business is facing. If there is a United States-based business who is like, the tariffs are great for business, I would love to meet them because they are lying or totally delusional. And then, there's like personal questions like, these tariffs are getting collected. What are you using them for? Guarantee it's nothing that I want. It's like not going to do good for us. That's personal,
Bombs.
I guess. But like, yeah, exactly. It's like you're going to go blow up some kids somewhere. Great. Awesome.
Cruise missiles.
We're the best. So yeah, there's all, you can tell what side I'm on, but like, we all have to raise prices eventually. People think that like we're lying or whatever, like some people, and it's like, no, we have to raise prices. The costs are going up. I think we're all in this like kind of fortunate position where like we have some stock because we plan for the year and what the releases are, and we know what our usage is. So like we're all sitting on parts and stuff, but eventually before the end of this year, all that stock will get depleted and it will look like a massive price increase. But we can't like safely do it now because we don't know exactly how much to raise prices. It's not arbitrary. It's not just like, we're going to raise the $20 on every pedal. That should do it. It's like, you want to be fair, know, you want to like be fair to your customers and not price gouge. And it's so hard to like, if you raise prices too high and then the tariffs come back down, I think most people don't realize this. It is next to impossible to go backwards on a price increase. You can't.
Dealers don't want their stock.
It creates like such chaos for everybody
because you're in a whole partnership network with the retailer network, and that's what's so like. It's not the easy. Well, just raise prices. It's like that. You're talking about like getting to a point where you finally have like global price stabilization on your product. It's like nobody move. Don't touch it. It's fine in Europe. It's fine in Japan. It's fine in Australia. It's fine in America. Like, don't touch anything. So if you have to go through like a price realignment, it's a huge bandwidth job for like a team of people at the company to manage the whole thing, and then it changes the value of someone's stock. Yeah, it's not easy.
And then there's this whole kind of like global economic thing in which right now, like as US based like manufacturers, we're we probably have the biggest disadvantage that like we've had
Right.
in history because it's so much less expensive in other countries for these other companies to like produce their products and then ship them everywhere else in the world except for the United States. So it's like, you know, they're gaining market share or whatever, if you want to talk like that. But it's just all these things are being presented as an advantage for US based manufacturers. We're actually at a massive disadvantage.
Right. Because now all of our competitors or competitive friends, like in other countries, designing and making pedals can use our same supply chains from Asia or from other parts of the world, but they're not paying the tariffs. And so their cost of goods are much lower. So they're able to charge us a lower price where we have to charge a higher price because our cost of goods are crazy because of tariffs. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and you know, not only are they getting the components at a lower price, they're probably taking the designs that you sweated over here, and then they go, well, hey, you know, here's an approximation of it on Amazon for $19.99.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I guess
It has happened to me.
For sure.
That Caverns pedal and a couple of other
Oh,
pedals
yeah.
of mine.
I think I know the company you're talking about. They make the Gas Deco or our
Oh,
Ghost
yeah.
Deco.
Gas Deco.
Yeah, the Gas Deco. If anyone wants a Ghost Deco, they're making a Gas Deco for $80. It's fine. Yeah. I can't think of the name of that. But
They have the ravines instead of the caverns.
yeah, the cat.
So it happens. It's like designer imposters. But I mean, if you think about it too, it's a blessing and a curse to be in the position that you guys are in. Because if someone were starting a pedal company now, especially in the U.S., you'd probably tell them, there's no way you're going to get out of that hole. You guys have made a foothold. You've been doing this a long time. You can't go back, like you said. So how do you kind of navigate the future? I mean, we look to brands like you guys as, you know, stalwarts in the industry. Like, you know, how do you make that work? And, you know, the answer is every day, like Jamie said, I'm not sure yet, you know. That's the scary part.
I pay attention. There's
There's this economic group called ITR Economics,
and they basically forecast what they feel like the wholesale economy is going to do, retail economy, manufacturing, real estate. And they have, for the last 25 years, they've been right 93% of the time. And so, because they can always go back to their reports and they can lay it over what their what the actual economic data was. And so I kind of put my chips into reading the ITR economic reports on if it's green or yellow, and because the lead times on a lot of these components and parts of things, sometimes it's like 5 months, and so it's like I'm gonna throw this purchase order out for $1 bazillion, but am I going to be able to sell it in 5 months? And so reading that economic report from ITR, I hope I get mine for free now. I plugged them. That's been really helpful, because it's noiseless and it's non-political. It's just a bunch of nerds that went to college and they've been doing it for a long time.
But did you ever foresee that? Like, as a guy with the breadboard and a couple friends, we're going to build some pedals and it's going to be awesome. And then like later on you're doing this. It's not exactly what you thought. Yeah, right? It's like, oh man, I got to come in every day and look people in the eye and go, yeah, I'm not just the builder of the pedal. I'm your boss and everything's going to be fine. And you go back to the lab and cry.
Multiple times per day.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
It takes all our eyes off the ball dealing with it. And that's really the challenging part, is every time that I would spend any time putting together a spreadsheet, trying to predict costs and stuff like that, it just kind of all ends up being for naught. And I didn't get any pedal design done, or I didn't, improve any processes in my little factory shop, so it's a bad distraction. And a lot of us have already, I don't know the right way to say it, but for example, Jamie has the Plumes pedal out, and it's very reasonably priced. What is the price of it now?
$119. You just
$119.
you just like, I'm the worst with like, what's the price of this pedal?
I
Like,
know.
But
You could catch me because
That's a
you could
deal,
ask me, and
yeah,
I
Still a
probably,
deal,
I think
yeah,
it's
for sure.
$119.
that's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
was 99 for a long period of time.
Great price point. Yeah.
And I don't think he did that to flex his muscle. It was more like I this is the value. This is a respectable amount of profit I'm getting from this, and it's kind of a fair deal and an honest deal that he has with his customers. I feel the same way with my compressor. I brought it down to as low as what I thought was healthy, and so it's kind of hard to go back the other way.
Yeah, it is.
Really is. You know what I mean? So I guess what I'm trying to say is we had priced in our almost. It's not morality that I'm trying to say here, but I was trying to give good value to our customers and pricing it as low as possible. Even on our new DSP stuff, it's remarkable performance, and I think we only charged $229 for some of our things like that. The Octasize only $249. I had to price it like it was a fuzz pedal, and I give you a pitch shifter for free. Right. I was like, because you just can't.
Such a nice guy.
That's what I did for me.
All around.
My Nobel Pedal Prize.
Yeah.
So
find Keeley Electronics at the bottom of in the comments and click there and get the affiliation code, 10% off.
Yes, thank you.
Well, that was a depressing question. Let's get on to something fun. Yeah, come on, Colt. Get us out of our funk.
What about
First kiss?
I'm just kidding. More often than not, over the years, what is the process you take when looking to create a new pedal? Example, do you lock yourself in the basement until you come up with something, etc.? The process for new product.
With that voice.
Man. Oh. The process for new stuff at my shop is totally chaotic. There's multiple different products. Sometimes they take 3 years to birth themselves. So nothing ever goes really smooth. The only time we've ever had something that was more mechanical and followed a procedure was our 4-in-1 drive line. As soon as I kind of ironed out what the pedals needed to be that were paired together, then it was kind of
this guy right here, the Mantis and the...
Well, that's kind of like it.
Yeah. Is this the one you're talking about? The folded metal stuff?
Yep. The 4-in-1 drive, like the Noble Screamer, the Blues Disorder, Angry Orange. And but that's as close as I've ever got to anything kind of nice. I try to put pedals on a format so that we can develop.
I bet you said nice.
You're saying that's as close as I've ever gotten to anything that's nice. All right.
But that form factor really works. It does. Pleasing to the eye. And like you said, you could see it from a manufacturing standpoint that we could use this form factor in so many different ways and go with it and still have it be fun.
Yeah. So getting that, we got a laser and a brake, a CNC brake, and a laser. And the laser is what changed us. It moved us into the world of sexy looking pedals. It gave us so much more freedom for putting the jacks where we wanted, and we could set this height so we could put dual concentric pots where we wanted to, and everything like that. So that's as close as it got. Most of the stuff is very chaotic at my shop because it will be something that's kind of unique and doesn't have something. I'm working on something with Trey Anastasio to mimic a rack delay. DM2000, old Ibanez rack delay. It does some peculiar things.
Those are cool.
And so we're trying to come out with a pedal version of that. So there's not a form to follow with that kind of thing. It's just got to sound right. It's got to sound right. Every nuance has to be exactly like the original delay, or he'll pick up on it. So I don't know. There is no secret way of getting it done because I don't do the design work myself. I work with Creighton or with Tackett on the programming, and I let them, solve all the problems and issues. So I'm just around for being the cheerleader.
Yeah, I need a Creighton.
You need your Creighton. Trust me. That's awesome.
We have what we call the ideation meeting, and it's like 9 people, and we have an Excel sheet, and it's like 120 ideas long, and whoever's in charge of the meeting, I'm not, kind of brings like 3 things that have been sticking out in conversation, and we kind of talk about those things, and then as we're planning out our year, there's like a smaller group of people that set the budget that kind of like decide, all right, I think these things can come out. Because if the Dreamers had everything come out their way, we probably wouldn't be able to pay the bills. And so you got to have a reverb drop every now and then, right? to pay payroll and those kind of things. But I think the most important thing I've realized is to have in the room is to have a balance of engineering know-how and guitar playing know-how. And those are usually not the same person. And if engineers are left to their own devices, the stuff that will come out will sound incredible, but no one will be able to use it. And they won't be able to find the sound that the engineer can find, but they can't find it. And if you have just guitar players designing stuff, it works great, but it doesn't sound very good. And so it's the two together, and just having like a mutual respect for each other's point of view that I think that makes really great things. So that's the one thing I'm always like counting, like who's an engineer and who's a guitar player, and I make it sound harmonious. It's not harmonious. There's a lot of tension a lot of the time, but yeah, so it makes it fun.
As you were describing that, like in my head, I was like, this sounds like the worst scenario on earth. Anytime that we have ever had like a group think tank about like, we want to make this kind of pedal, which is not very often because I hate it. Like, I mean, by the end of it, I'm like, I quit. Well, the one rule is like, I do say like, this isn't a democracy either. Like we're not doing like, all right, everybody vote. It's just like, this is for chit chat and all that kind of stuff. And then there's like maybe two people that can go, yeah, let's do that. I think at this point, like everybody knows, like when people start tossing out ideas, like the first two, there's like nervous glances in my direction, and by like the fifth idea, everyone's just kind of laughing, looking at me when I'm like red and a little bit sweaty. Like I just stop it. We're not doing any of this. We're doing what I want to do. Unfortunately, our pedals are made exactly in that scenario of guitar player / engineer, which is me, not very good.
Well, see, you carry both, though, at the same time,
either,
which is amazing.
But good enough to, I guess, make EarthQuaker Devices. But, like, it's kind of a mix of all of this. So, like, I always have, like, multiple projects going on at the same time. And I'm starting, like, as I'm, like, been describing this more often to people, I'm starting to realize that I'm just describing ADHD, like undiagnosed ADHD. But like I always have like 8 different things like on breadboards, and it's always the super elaborate ones that I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Like this is like people's minds are going to be blown. Nothing like this exists. And those will just go on forever and ever and ever. And those are like, there's like no end to them because it's that. Yeah. I know that I can put all these controls in a position that it makes this awesome sound. But no one else is ever going to have the patience to sit there and do this. And it's like, well, I guess I can put this in the manual, but who reads a manual? Like, I don't read a manual. So sometimes you got to like dial that back into like this over here. Like, these were just like ideas that I liked, that some of them had more elaborate designs, but it's like, how do you contain this into a repeatable, like kind of platform, for lack of a better term?
So we're not going to see another data corruptor?
No, there's like a bunch of stuff like that. But like last year I prototyped somewhere between 43 and 48 pedals. And the only ones that have come out were like our utility line, like AB and the ABY, like the simple stuff. So it's like all this stuff. I'm at like pretty much eternally prototyping, which is like fun. And as you know, like a total nightmare, like money pit, like time suck. And then at the end, you're like, I think like 75% of the time, I'm like, it's not that good. So it's like you have invested all this time, and then you kind of put it away until you have the time to like make it better. And like, who has the time to make it better? Or just always want to find that like one magic thing. I don't even know what the question is anymore. No, you guys are just staring at me. I'm saying words.
No, it's good.
Well, I like it peaked behind the process too. You're compelled to do it. Like you could probably cash in and go, look, we can make a facsimile of this, that, the other, and just kind of watch it roll in. But you're like, that's not good.
Well,
enough.
like, I'm surprised. Like almost all of our pedals are selfish pedals. Like they're all things that I wanted, like for bands that I was in, or like sounds that I was like using 5 pedals to make, and I'd be like, I know I can take these things that I like from these 5 pedals and get it into one simple thing. And it's like that's how a lot of the stuff is made. But I'm also like I am now starting to answer to the modern world where like so many pedals are just iPads. You know, like they're just little computers where you can do everything. And you were saying it earlier, like too many options keeps you from actually being creative. It's frustrating. Like you have to learn all this stuff. And now I'm just kind of answering to that by like, how do you marry just a little bit of technology with like ease of use and stuff like that? And I feel like that's the secret thing.
Yeah, Jason at Walrus always says to his team, you know, it's what you don't include that makes it great. And it's what makes it through the filter that, you know, is what's going to make it onto the record. And so I feel like the goal for us is for someone to email in and say, hey, this was on my record, you know, this was on my album. I love this on this part. And I feel like the less options, the more, I wouldn't say less options. I would call them like the appropriate options to be able to manipulate, the better. And then the faster someone can find, I mean, this is our strategy, but the faster someone can find a great sound, the better. Yeah. No one emails in being like, I worked with it all night and I found this really unique esoteric sound that I can use in sound check, you know. It's like it can't go on a song, but
I feel like the thing that we're trying to describe is actually so hard to describe, but it's like you know it when you get it.
Right.
There's the aha moment.
Yeah, well, it's just I don't know. It's like the right features and just the right amount of them. But it's kind of, I do feel like it's hard to put this into words, like because you do know it when you see it, and those are the things that end up being like inspiring for people to get in and play with.
We have some stuff coming out where we're going back to rotary dials. Like, there's like 12 notches, and
are you messing with us?
No, where it's like just the whole pot sweep sometimes can get really confusing. So if you can just like click,
it's like a baritone,
and find a certain sounds.
Yeah.
I feel like people are able to find sounds a lot faster, and the difference between if you have like 10 notches, like the difference between 8 and 9 is, is so subtle that you could just kind of move your guitar tone knob and fix it. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm a rotary guy,
Well, and that's the thing too. We talk about this. Everything seems to be out there, yet you're still searching. Like, what's that one burn? Like, you just let it out now. What's that one burning thing where you're like, this is the pedal that no one has made, and why haven't they? And how do we get to it? Like, there's, rotary pedal's a good example. How hard is it to create the Doppler effect? It's so hard. But there are certain pedals where I feel like so many swings and misses have happened.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like that. And like even this Aurelius back here, that's my answer to it. But like, it is, and that's a very specific effect, and it is like a shockingly difficult
thing.
You're talking about rotary pedals?
Yeah, like I know it.
I was talking about rotary
switches.
Sorry.
I know. Yes, I know what you meant. I'm not that dumb.
We're just playing off your words.
No, I don't think you're dumb.
Thanks. You know him.
You're handsome.
He does.
Handsome guy.
I appreciate it.
Why don't you get on the camera?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something where it's like, that seems to be the last field where everyone's saying this is finally a convincing, Leslie kind of sound, which is, you're trying to mimic the sound of air moving. But there are certain areas too where it's like, why don't they make a pedal, that sounds like a pedal steel? Or something where you're like, oh my God, we should be doing that. Where like it sounds like a slide guitar. I don't know. You could have that idea, by the way.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Then the next question is, the marketing team is always like, is it going to sell?
Well, of course.
It's like, are we going to sell these? How do I sell these? Those are my favorite conversations when engineering comes up with something, and then the marketing team is like, that if I have to spend 5 lines on an Instagram post explaining what it is, like, I think we've lost the plot.
I have one last idea for you. Make a pedal that sounds like a walrus.
That is an idea.
It is an idea. It is an idea. Yeah.
That is an idea.
Yeah.
That is so good. It reminds me of like, what was the fart pedal that came out?
I think it was called the fart pedal.
Was it called the fart pedal?
Yes, it was. It was a big release.
Did you
sold a lot?
Were you at the NAMM last year?
Yeah.
At all? Did you go by the fart pedal booth?
I did not.
You can smell it from a mile away.
Not out of protest.
I was just gonna. I wasn't looking for the fart pedal. I happened to be having a conversation with somebody, and was like, "What is happening?" I was like, "Oh, it's the fart pedal." directly across the aisle from the fart pedal booth was like a musician's mental health resource with like just people who are not like in the industry, just sitting on a stool, no one there, and just getting farted at from this fart like nonstop all day long for like 3 days. It's like they're gonna need their own services. It's like after like 2 hours, it's like
it sounds like the front office and
like they want to help someone. Like, we're gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
I mean, the fart pedal. I heard that there's two. There's like two totally different
wet and dry
pedals. Yeah, there it is.
You're welcome.
I don't know, whatever. Fart pedal, great idea.
I think that's another swing and miss. I feel like if you guys were to revisit the fart pedal concept and bring your own, flavor to it, I think maybe a mid-home.
Why not?
I think a cool study would be, because those were purchased by somebody's excess cash, and what in the economy did not get purchased and supported because the fart pedal got bought by somebody. Was it shoes? Was it a watch? Was it another pedal? That's what I want to know.
I think it needed an expression pedal. I think that's really where they missed out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could just kind of, like a little SBD or something. Something to think about. We have time for one last question.
Bless
All
him.
right.
And then we can...
You pick it. You're in the middle.
Right, okay. What is the biggest myth in the guitar effects pedal industry?
click
Biggest, God,
I know. What is the biggest myth?
So many, though.
So many.
that something new is actually going to sell. Like some new idea that like no one's ever done before is actually going to make someone money, because it's not. Everyone, like guitar players, speaking as a guitar player, like things to be familiar, just like slightly different but familiar. And then when it gets too wild, you spend all this time analyzing like specs and joining forums and arguing with people and stuff like that. Then you're no longer a guitar player. Like you're just like a fake expert on tech specs. I don't know. And then you bother customer service people all the time. Like that's what happens. So
let me rapid fire another one. So he answered the biggest myth. There's the biggest myth. Okay, there's talk that it's all been done before. As a fan of guitar effects, in what area do you feel has the most untapped potential?
A totally new idea that has never been done.
Right?
I don't know. Like who knows?
I think there's only 20 to 25 sounds available. There's like overdrive, but then it's how you manipulate and iterate on those sounds. And I think really the real innovation is coming through the settings and the parameters that we decide on how to manipulate and how deep to manipulate on these certain sounds. And so I think the things that will keep growing are like the firmware, like the hardware, the technology on how we're putting these things into boxes and the use cases. But it's pretty rare, and it's almost accidental that you'll have new sounds come out. Like if you sit down and just try to I'm going to try to think of a new sound, you'll never, I don't think it'll ever come.
Yeah, that's like forcing that thought.
Yeah,
like
but it's always an accident.
Yeah.
And it's never on purpose. And so that's what I think.
It is hard to find the untapped potential. I wish I had the DSP skills or to do some of the stuff that Electro Harmonix is doing with their C9, B9, so
That's
I
cool.
can, further manipulate that sound to be more authentic. But I don't. Yeah, all the sound effects have already been created. All the math, operands, plus, minus, multiply, divide, those have all been done before. So it kind of implies that all the effects have been done before, if you look at it that way. So it's kind of hard to find a new effect sound. You can just change some parameter of it.
Yeah, but I think it goes back to that whole thing. It's like the designer's ear. And that's what I think ultimately people are buying is like whatever you hear when like you're sitting down to make a circuit, like you could hand us all the same parts and we'll make something that's like somewhat similar, but like a little bit different. So it's like what speaks to people. I think all of this said, like I'm continuously shocked by our world, and every time I think like it can't get weirder it somehow does. Like, we'll put out something that I think is like mind blowing, like the Arpanoid, like the arpeggiator thing, and like people are like, it's like, dude, nothing like this exists. Yeah, whatever. And then it's like, we put out an analog headphone amplifier in an age where like you could plug your guitar straight into your laptop with like a $5 cable. It's gonna sound awesome. And it sells so well. Like, it's like,
Right.
like I never would anticipate that ever. I was just like, I made this thing. It sounds really good. I don't think people are going to want it. And then they do, because it's sort of like an answer to like modern like inconvenience, where it's like, this can do it all, but I don't want it all. I just want to plug it in and not think about it and just have it sound good. So you get surprised. You know,
That's a good point, too. And-
surprised by that.
And the different designer with the same components. It's like if I handed you an acoustic guitar and each of you played a G chord, it would sound like three different people. It's the same with, you could take the same band and have three different producers produce it.
Exactly.
It's the same
Yeah,
band, same songs, but you're bringing a little bit of that DNA to it. And I think that's the kind of thing that you have to keep chasing with all these other distractions in the world kind of getting in your way. It's like, well, there's still something that can be done here, because at the end of the day, as we said, this isn't stuff that anyone needs, but it makes them happy.
Right.
And in that regard,
Yeah.
that's not a bad thing, you know?
Right.
That's a nice rap, wasn't it?
That's
That
nice.
felt pretty good.
You really tied it all together.
See you later.
We didn't even need to be here. Just taking the email.
Smash that like button, subscribe. Next week we're going to be in Vegas trying to dump a basketball off a building.
Let's turn off
Making
mic
that
number
shot.
one, please. For more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe, and to check out all the pedal offerings we have from Walrus Audio, Robert Keeley Effects, and EarthQuaker Devices. Be sure to check us out at AmericanMusical.com. Thank you, boys. Also, good stuff.
Thank you guys.